Hello and welcome back to another Mob Heads add-on update video. But FoxyNoTail, I thought this was a microblocks video. It is. But before we get to that, I've got a couple of little things I want to say about Mob Heads first, which is my other add-on. First of all, I have fixed another couple of bugs and updated the pack to 3.5. And the big bugs I fixed is that sometimes white cats would drop a tabby head. You can see they now drop a white cat head. And the other, not really a bug, but the other problem was that Piglin Brutes, the loot table didn't match the Vanilla Tweaks loot table. And if you didn't know already, this pack was designed to match the loot table drop rates from Vanilla Tweaks. The reason it wasn't like that in the first place was because I created this pack before Vanilla Tweaks put their pack live, so I couldn't copy it basically. So now everything is in line, and that's pretty much it with Mob Heads, other than to say there are still big problems with realms. Realms and add-ons are not working very well at the moment, and the problem is if you download one of the add-ons from my website and get the latest version, if anyone else in the world has fiddled with it, updated it and uploaded it to their realm, there is a chance that that will overwrite the add-on on your realm and cause you all sorts of problems. If you do get those problems, then remove the packs from your realm, download them again so you've got the correct pack, and then re-upload them, and hopefully they will stay right for a little while, but unfortunately they will get corrupted again. Mojang are aware and are fixing this bug, but I've no idea when it is going to be fixed. Anyway, enough of Mob Heads. Let's look at microblocks, which is what we're all here for. And it's pretty much exactly the same, but this time, instead of having the Mob Heads, they are the microblocks. And again, this falls in line with Vanilla Tweaks. Now, the Vanilla Tweaks pack has 148 heads. We actually have 149 because I've added in Soul Soil. Soul Soil, for whatever reason, wasn't included in the Vanilla Tweaks latest download, so I've added it to this pack. And the way that you get the microblocks is by trading with the Wandering Trader. Find a Wandering Trader, click on him, and he will offer you 5 random blocks that you can get, and you need an emerald and 1 type of that actual block in order to trade for 8 of the mini blocks. Now, the way we do this is we put an emerald there and 1 of the blocks there, and you can see we can then get 8 of those, and we can trade each one up to 3 times. So you get 3 lots of trades, and this is basically exactly the same as on Vanilla Tweaks. The loot table system is exactly the same. The differences, however, from Vanilla Tweaks are the textures. So the pack is completely written from the ground up, and I have to say a huge, big thank you to Wizarduss, who wrote a script to basically do all of the hard work for me. Each one of these mob heads has about 5 different files attached to it that actually do the things like the resource packs and the behaviors and all that sort of stuff, and he wrote a script that would do pretty much all of that for me, rather than me having to copy and paste each one and rename them all and spending hours and hours doing that. So the only thing left to do was a few tweaks here and there with the code and to create the textures. And you'll see the textures are actually the full resolution textures, whereas on Vanilla Tweaks they use an 8x8 pixel texture, so each one has to be completely redesigned. These are using the actual vanilla textures, and I think they look really, really good. So there are 149 altogether. If you want to know exactly which ones those are, you can open up the README file that is attached to the pack. Inside the pack, if you unzip it, there is a README file, and it will show you all of the available blocks in the pack. Now, these are not heads, they're not skulls, and the reason for that is that Bedrock Edition doesn't allow us to recode these. So basically there are a limited number of vanilla skulls, and as much as we can retexture those exact ones, we can't clone them and create our own. The only way we can create these mob heads and the mini blocks is to create entirely new entities, and effectively what I've got in my hand here is a spawn egg, and when I click it, it spawns that entity into the world, and it pretty much looks the same as having one of these heads. The problem is that you can't put it on your head, but I have made it so you can sit on them. So you can now have chairs in your world, and because these things actually look like blocks rather than heads, let's say we grabbed one of these wood blocks, we could put that next to a table and we can actually sit on that. So I think that's a good compromise. Just a quick note to say, in order to place these, right click, and in order to pick them up again, shift and right click, or crouch and right click. Now, I know there are people out there that have managed to make these packs that will go on your head, but they use glitches in order to do it, and if you're wearing any armor or any other items on your head, such as a turtle helmet, a netherite helmet that you spent ages enchanting, another mob head or another micro block, it will just delete it, it will completely vanish, and you will never ever get it back again. I don't want to add that sort of problem into my packs. I want them to work nicely, so I didn't add that feature. The other reason is this is a nice and simple way to do it. In order to do it so you can glitch them onto your head, it's actually relatively complicated and a little bit more laggy. So I think we've got a good system here. Now, there are sadly a few issues with these mob heads, which are basically bugs with Bedrock Edition, which I'm going to show you now. Lava, water, and fishing rods are not your friend when it comes to these blocks. These blocks can have a little bit of a weird behavior when it comes to liquids and when it comes to fishing rods as well. So if we put these things on the ground like this and we put some water next to it, what can happen is they can then slip through the ground when they get to the edge of the water stream. And then what happens is they continue to go down in the world deeper and deeper and deeper until they end up in the void. But they don't die when they get in the void, they continue going forever and ever and ever, and they're always part of the game, and they're always loaded when you come into these chunks, which means they will eventually cause lots and lots of lag. So what I've done is I've made it that when they get to y equals 5, which is the level that Bedrock starts at, they will despawn, which does have an interesting effect in a super flat world. Like this one here. If I put one of these at that level there, it's going to instantly despawn because the floor in this world is at y equals 4. If I put them a block higher up, they won't despawn because, yeah, just because. If you want more detail on that, watch my previous mob heads video because I went into a lot more depth on that one. Similar things happen with lava as well. They will cause the blocks to eventually disappear into the ground, and the fishing rods is a little bit of a different one. If we pop a block on the floor and throw a fishing hook at it and flick it, it's just going to go up in the air forever. And the same thing happens if you put one on a sticky piston with a slime block on top and bounce it, it will just keep going up in the world. Now this could technically be abused because you could hook one with a fishing rod. Let's see if I can get it. Flick it up and then click on it and sit on it, and you can use it as an elytra launcher. Now, if you run a server or a realm, I would probably have it as a rule that you don't do this, but just in case these do make it all up to y equals 255, they will also despawn. The other thing is, if we log out of the game and log in again, you will find... Okay. Yeah, they'll stop moving. Basically, if you log out and log in again, they will stop moving. Same as if you are making them move down again, they will just stop once the chunks are unloaded. The biggest issue with these, however, and this is something you probably will want a rule for on your realm or server, is mob spawners. Because these are spawn eggs, if we click them on a mob spawner, in any world, they will start spawning more of them, they will start duplicating, and that's not good. It's not ideal. But there's sadly nothing I can do about it. If we want these mini blocks to work and we want these mob heads to work, then it's the only way to do them at the moment is to use entities. Hopefully in the future Mojang will open up the code so that we can make these into items, or even use the player and mob skulls that are in the game and reuse those. But at the moment, the only way we can do it is with entities, so it's just a good idea to have a rule on your server or realm that you don't allow people to click the mob spawners with these eggs, otherwise they're going to be getting free heads forever and ever and ever. Unless you want that to be part of your world, obviously, in which case go for it. But yeah, I would personally consider that cheating. And that's pretty much it. As you can see, both packs work together perfectly well, and if you want to download these, you just get them from FoxyNoTail.com. If you find them on other websites, then they are rip-offs. They are not mine. There are other people out there that are copying my code and trying to rip off my work and make money from it. That's not me. I haven't done that. I only host them on FoxyNoTail.com, so if you find them anywhere else, please do let me know. And if you have any problems with these packs, if you find a bug or something like that, then please do head over to my Discord. There are technical channels there now that you can drop your notes in, but please don't bother the other members by pinging moderators or myself or the other members with these problems. If you write the question in the relevant channel, we'll get back to you as soon as we see it or as soon as we have some information for you. Anyway, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you enjoyed these packs. If you did, please do leave a like. If you haven't already, please do subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!